Program, B.S. English. Course, 19th Century English Novel. Topic, Role and Significance of Egdon Heath in the Return of the Native. Prepared by Dr. Shahryar Khan. Question. Egdon Heath has been described not just as a setting but a character in the Return of the Native. What is its role and significance? Discuss. Introduction. At the beginning of the novel, Hardy describes Egdon Heath not just as a place but also as a living being. He says that Heath's titanic form seemed to await something for centuries. It is the home of strange phantoms and storm is its lover. Civilization is its enemy as it has remained unchanged through the centuries. Its impact on the surroundings is so sinister that its appearance resembles the night even before the time of the night. However, it is never asleep. For when other things sank brooding to sleep, the Heath appeared slowly to awake and listen. Apart from its geographical features, Heath resembles a man with a lonely face, suggesting tragical possibilities. It is evident that Heath is personified by Hardy with human nature and face and also having mysterious qualities of nature. Such a description suggests that Hardy considers Heath as a character in the novel. Its role is not limited to the setting alone. It plays an active part in the rise and fall of the characters. Simon Gatrell comments on this aspect of Heath in these words. The Heath is the element in which the story moves, the element which has conditioned the formation of the characters, and which is an agent in their ends. Point 1. Egdon Heath only accepts people who accept it as it is. Therefore, it has a hostile relationship with Eustacia, Wildevey, and Mrs. Yawbright. Eustacia was brought up in the fashionable town of Budmouth. After the death of her parents, she is forced to live with her grandfather at the Heath. She does not like life at Heath and she is always planning to escape it. She says, "'Tis my cross, my shame, and will be my death, I abhor it too." She hates the Heath and its rustic people. She does not understand its beauty and mystery. She marries Clym only because he has returned from Paris and she hopes that he would take her there. When her dream does not come true, she loses interest in Clym and resumes relationship with Wildevey. She wants to use him to get away from the Heath. As mentioned, Egdon Heath does not accept people who do not accept it. Finally, Eustacia drowns in a stream while attempting to escape the Heath. Point 2. Mrs. Yawbright and Wildevey are two other characters who are not compatible with the Heath. Mrs. Yawbright is the daughter of a parson and she thinks that she is better than the other natives of the Heath. She does not agree with her son's plan to settle permanently here. She thinks that he should not quit his job in Paris. She also thinks that Clym's marriage to Eustacia is not good for him. She becomes the victim of the Heath and dies after she gets bitten by a serpent. Wildevey is another character who appears to be an alien at the Heath. He used to be an engineer but runs an inn now. He is not a man of deep sentiments and is selfish in nature. He commits himself to Thomasin despite being in relationship with Eustacia. He marries Thomasin eventually but he is not faithful. When Eustacia gets disillusioned with her marriage with Clym, she starts to meet him again. Though he is a married man now, he agrees to their relationship. He is partly responsible for the death of Mrs. Yawbright. Towards the end, he is drowned while trying to rescue Eustacia and becomes another victim of the Heath. Point 3. On the other hand, Clym Yawbright wants to return to the Heath not only because he was fed up with the artificiality of Paris life but also because he loves life at the Heath. If anyone knew the Heath well it was Clym. He was permeated with its scenes, with its substances, and with its odors. He has no worldly ambitions and after his return, he becomes wild and ascetic Heath lad. Clym wants to do something for the community of the Heath. When his eyesight fails, he accepts his fate and becomes a humble laborer at the Heath. He simply accepts whatever is offered by Heath without any complaint. Another character who has a close connection with the Heath is Diggory Venn. He seems to be the spirit and conscience of the Heath. It is really interesting that he is always present whenever there is some important event to take place. His love for Thomasin is genuine and pure and, at the end, he and Thomasin are the only characters who find happiness. This again proves the point that Heath is only kind to people who accept and love it. Point 4. In the deterministic world of Egdon Heath, there is no scope for an individual to exercise his or her fate. It seems Heath is an agent of fate which uses different means to bring about the fall of the characters. Egdon Heath is a manifestation of Hardy's philosophy. In The Return of the Native, the Heath is associated with the past and pagan culture. It influences the lives of the characters in many ways. Life is governed by chance and coincidence at the Heath. It is a chance that Mrs. Yawbright comes to meet her son at the exact moment when Wildevey is there. Because of him, Eustacia does not open the door. She assumes that Clym would open it. On her way back, Mrs. Yawbright gets bitten by a serpent and dies. When Eustacia plans to escape the Heath with Wildevey, it rains heavily and the stream is flooded. She dies while trying to cross it. Wildevey attempts to rescue her but perishes. It is evident that Egdon Heath does not allow anyone to exercise their will. It is a manifestation of chance and necessity. Conclusion. To conclude, we can say Hardy's portrayal of Egdon Heath has many layers. It performs symbolic, allegorical, and philosophical functions in the novel. Egdon Heath's presence is so pervasive that often The Return of the Native is called the Book of Egdon Heath. Hardy's depiction of the Heath brings it alive. Every character in the novel is defined through his or her relation with the Heath. Walter Allen has called the Heath the protagonist of the novel. It seems as if the only entity that remains constant in the novel is Heath itself. Other characters rise and fall in relation to the Heath. The novel cannot be properly understood if we take it just as a place or a setting. Virginia Woolf points to this fact in these words. The Heath is a personage, it has a character, it can be cruel, it can be comforting, it has a past and a history of its own. It is the brooding presence that makes all human struggle look tiny and insignificant.